Hey everybody, happy Monday. What a great day for some education. I am coming to you from the not so sunny side of Florida. We have quite the weather happening today. So you might hear some booming, and if it really sounds like dancing on some tin, that's just the rain falling. But today we're going to jump right into a fun class about toning. Toneology is the title of the class, and this class that I created for you guys is all about basically what is tone, how can you use it, how can you correct it. We are going to focus on three core elements of toning. We're going to be working with canceling, enhancing, and controlling tone today. To me, those are the three most important pieces when we're talking about what we do as hairstylists behind the chair, because you could be working from anything from working with a blonde to fixing maybe a low light that had gotten put in. You have to lift it out. You're going to have to control the warmth that's in there. Or perhaps you've got a blonde that you want to enhance that. I'm just going to stick with blonde for a minute. And, controlling gold, controlling ash when you're putting into the blonde, they can be a little tricky sometimes because we can overshoot, we can undershoot. And so this class I designed for you today is just to kind of help you through some of those steps. As you can see, I've got a beautiful board that really doesn't tell you anything until I do. So we'll go ahead and get started. I did play and stick with our HydraGloss and our Express Tones and then our Platinum Toners. You can do a lot with toning with our permanent colors, but these are our demis. And when we're talking about tone is going to determine your warmth, your cool, or your neutral. A lot of us really do have the understanding on how to do that with permanent color, but when it comes to correcting some things, we tend to go into a demi. Most of the time, that's what I see in the classes that I teach, so that's why I stuck with this here. So I didn't use permanent color this time, just because the demis, I love our demis. Our HydraGloss is alcohol-free, it's super hydrating, and I do see when I'm correcting tone or needing to adjust tone, it's generally going to be in a demi area for me. So I did that. I love our Express Tones. If you don't play with them, I'm going to describe a little bit about those today too, as well as our Platinum Toners as we move from piece to piece. So we're going to actually start with it's like one of the OGs for me is the Violet Express Tones. I love her so much. Give me a hands up if you use the Violet Express Tones, if you use any of the Express Tones, like the originals. So our original Express Tones actually develop in 5 minutes to a level 7. So they go fairly deep very quickly. You can dilute them with a clear that we have available. We have multiple colors available in the Express Tones. We have a beige, we have an ash, we've got the violet. There's so many different colors, and then we have more to offer also in the platinum levels. So this is the violet, and you can see this is a absolutely gorgeous swatch. This is on a level 9 swatch. I didn't go to a level 10. Let me pull back a little bit and see if the color, if that tone is working. So this is literally 1 to 1.5 mixing ratio. So you're going to do 1 part color to 1.5, to 1.5 0 developer. So you're not going to use any lift, 10, 20, 30, or 40, only 0 lift developer. This is a true demi, and it developed to this in 5 minutes. Why would you use this tone? The nice thing is sometimes we can't, when we're doing color correction, when we are lifting out a dark color because somebody wants to go lighter, sometimes we can't get to that clean level 9-10 canvas that we're looking for. So the Express Tones allows us to get that violet in a darker tone, or perhaps our guest maybe wants a little more longevity for their color. You can imprint more tone with that level at the same time and give your guest more. It's absolutely incredible. So another thing to note, when we're talking about tone is very different from your level. Tone and level are two different things. Our you know, we've got, I don't have a box number 10, but, oh, here, let's do this. I have my natural level finder right here. So our levels, right, we've got 1 all the way to 10, okay? Here's your underlying pigment. Your underlying pigment is tone, because that's what's going to be left over when you lift these levels, right? So when we're talking about our tone is not this. The tone is going to be sitting in here, and it's also going to be your warmth, your ash, or your neutral, the reflection of what you're trying to see. So when somebody says they want a chocolate, they want a mushroom, they want that copper, those are the tones that we're trying to create. So when we're moving on from that little sidebar, this is the Platinum Lilac. So this is a level 910. This is designed to sit on the blondest blonde, and it'll help get you that nice, beautiful lilac. Now, something to note about the Express Tones that are the Platinum Toners, these are also 5 minutes. This level of lilac got deposited in 5 minutes on dry hair. If you leave it longer, you can get more tone. It will never go darker than a 9, but you will get more tone, which means that color you're looking for, that purple hue, that beautiful little lilac tone, you will get more of that if you leave it on longer, which is really fun if you have the platinum girls or guys that want to, oh, it fell, that they want to have a little bit more with their color service. You can give them more tone without a commitment to a darker shade. We all have our blondes that are afraid to go dark. That's a great way to move them into a color that's fantastic to play with. So we're going to step out of the easy for a moment. We don't all have everything in our cabinet, in our arsenal. For those that play with Vivids, I did show a couple of tone correctors with using Vivids because I love to reach for something else. Express Tones, some people don't have them in their area. Maybe you can't get your hands on them. Okay, well, if you have the Vivids, if you have clear pastel and you have luscious lavender or grape, I have shown you how you can create toners for your light level blondes so that you can tone out that unwanted warm tone and create the beautiful, beautiful light tones that our blondes are looking for. Now this right here is luscious lavender. So it's our Vivid, so there's no developer, right? It's straight from the tube into the bowl, stir it up, and we're gonna put it on clean, dry, freshly pre-lightened hair, okay? So this is luscious lavender. It's 9 grams of clear pastel to 3 grams of luscious lavender. And this sat for 30 minutes. Isn't that incredible? So this went on a level 10. So let me grab these so we can maybe put that up against so you can see. This is the level 10 swatches that I took from. And you can see that beautiful ashy tone in there. And that was done with Vivids. Do not sleep on our clear pastel. It is incredible when you're wanting some lighter colors. It's absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely love the luscious lavender. But this one I had a lot of fun playing with because I got to an almost, white's the unicorn, right? That's the one we can never get a hold of. Well, I used 10 grams of clear pastel, and I used the tip of my brush in order to to stir the end of it. I dipped it in the grape because the grape is a pretty potent purple, right? We want to be careful with that. And so this is also on a level 10. I did create an almost white effect on it. I got very, very close, which made me super duper happy. This sat for 30 minutes as well. And it's an absolute incredible. You can see that 9 up there and then into that beautiful, beautiful tone. So it's got that silvery tone, that white silvery tone So we negating as much warmth as possible using a vivid. And I encourage you guys, like, if you need to replenish color, use your clear pastel and the orange or the flame. I did not do that up here. I could have created 5 boards for you guys. I love playing with tone. So the world's your oyster. I'll stop there on that one because otherwise I'll keep going. I wanted to talk about going a little bit darker. We're not always playing on the level 9, 10 level. So this is still in the express tones. We're going to go back to the express tones and we're going to use ash. Ash is our blue, right? Some people are very afraid of ash because it can sometimes imprint too much. We got to watch the porosity of the hair and all the little things that we're looking to be careful of when we're doing hair. But this is a level 8 swatch and I did a level 8 tone on top of it. Grab this. So this is the 8 swatches. I don't know, is that ruining the tone for you guys or is that helping? I feel my screen shows that it's like slightly helpful, but you can see like the break in there. You got the level 8 here of the natural swatch, and then this is the 8 ash toner on top of it. So you can see it did tone it. There's still a tiny bit of warmth in there. So I did the same thing, but I used a level 7 tone. I did the ash straight up on it on this one. So you can see more of that ashy reflection right in here, that flavor we're looking for. So the ash works. It works. It toned out that gold. But if you want just a little bit more, you can do it and not worry. This was 5 minutes on dry hair. You can do it dry. You can do it wet. Most of us tone at the bowl. You really want that nice towel dried hair. You want to make sure that you're not having your color compete with water. Definitely don't want that because it would dilute. All right. So that right there is like the canceling portion of it. We're trying to cancel out tones. So you're going to use your purples, your violets, right? So your violet, your lilac, you're going to use that to cancel out yellow tones, unwanted yellow tones, right? You're going to use ash to cancel out unwanted orangier tones, or to put in a tone of a silver or blue. You'll use the purple to put in a tone of purple, right? Or that lilac. And then you can use ash to create a nice beige at certain levels, that warm, cool tone. So it's not too cool, it's not too warm. I love beige. It's one of my favorites to create personally. All right, this little guy here is hanging low because this is a color correction scenario where we're playing with different tones, and we're going to jump from one part of the board and we'll finish in another part because it kind of goes, when you're dealing with tone, you can be in control and cancel all at the same time. Depends on what you're doing on the hair. So these are the nice dark color swatches that I used, and I did leave a little up top so that you can see, but I lifted it. I did. Sally came in. She's like, I don't want to be dark like this anymore. Great. We're going to do a color correction. We're going to do some color removal. And we got her here. We got her to everybody's favorite orange. I like orange, especially this time of year. I'm just saying, it's a good color. But she doesn't want this. And she doesn't want too much warmth, but she also doesn't want it to be super cool. Okay, well, when we're talking about enhancing, it can get a little hanky. So when you're using tone to correct color, sometimes you can overtone. And this is what I'm showing here. So I overtoned this with HydraGloss in 10B, 1B, and 7G. So I used, for the swatch, I used 10 grams of 10B, 1 gram of 1B, 1 gram of 7G, and 12 grams of Zero Developer. So I did this. I'll show this up against these and see if it gives you that tone. I did this to overtone on purpose to show you the ashiness from, I've done it. I don't know if you have, but oops. I was so worried because she really didn't want that much warmth left over. I went at it with B. We got orange, so I went at it with B, right? Well, I overshot. So this would obviously not be a good idea for somebody who didn't want ash. I have the correct formula down here for, in my mind, what I was correcting to, and we'll get to that one in just a minute. But for anybody who wants super ash, it's actually a really great formula. It's really pretty. The tone is super ashy. The G keeps it bright because gold, we know gold is a brightener, right? Our gold, this is all HydraGloss. So again, our alcohol-free, super hydrating, mixed 1-to-1 ratio. It's super easy with Zero Developer, and it does develop in 20 minutes. So this is 20 minutes. And the hair was wet. I did, I lifted it with the lightener, and then I washed it out with shampoo, and then I towel dried it, and I went in with the color and to tone, right, to correct the orange tone. And then I let it sit for 20 minutes. And that's what I got. So because she didn't want to be that ashy, I have the correct one down below, and we'll get there. But for now, we're going to move on, because why not? The actual correct answer is I numbered them in a weird way, but we'll keep going. So we're talking about enhancing, okay? And enhancing, we are gifted with many options. We've got purples, we've got coppers, we've got pearl, we've got, what else do we have? The coppers, purple, the gold, we've got blues. I mean, you can go into the vivid world and you can have multiple different shades, right? I chose our R's in the HydraGloss because we just launched that 3R recently and it's so beautiful. So I did the 5R and the 3R on dark hair, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love them. It's going to give you a little more depth. It's going to give you that little bit of that red hue that you're looking for. Now, these are on dark. I wanted to enhance dark hair. I didn't want to color the hair red, right? If I was looking to color the hair red, I would have gone into that permanent color where I could then use my 20, 30, or 40 developer to lift, use the underlying pigment to change that color and add the tone in. This was simply a tone shift. And so this one's the 5R. This one is the 3R. I am praying with my light that you can see the difference. I colored them up to here. So I'm hoping you can see that tone shift in them in the light. These are on level 5 swatches. So again, this is the 5R and this is the 3R. So you can see a little more of that red hue here. This color, obviously, yes, it did deepen the color because we put a 3 on a 5, right? So yes, we did shift the color, but this was it to mostly show you that tone, how that tone's going to show up on dark hair, since we are in the season of October and all things dark and fun. And again, HydraGloss is mixed 1-to-1 ratio, equal parts, super easy, super easy. And if you have any questions, if I am talking too fast, please do not hesitate to ask questions in the comments. Sam can stop me. I'll be glad to have, if you have any questions leading up to, or as I move on. I don't know about you guys. I am a trend follower. Doesn't mean I get to do all of them, but I love to follow the seasonal trends that are happening along the way. And I saw the other day the new trend that's out for plum. So the next one is a seasonal one that I used, and I used it for using tone to set the tone. I don't know if any of you ever have heard, pardon me, if any of you ever heard that term before, using tone to set the tone. There's many different ways that you can do that. You can do it for a color correction. You can do it simply for color input. You can do it if hair is too porous and you need to put something else in the hair, because if hair is too porous, you can put a color on and it can sometimes show too much ash. It can sometimes show too much gold. It might not level all out properly on the hair. So toning to set the tone can help even out the porosity of the hair, as well as imprinting that warm, cool, or neutral that you're looking for to sit on top. Toning to set the tone can help you if you don't have all the colors that you originally need in the same color family. Like if you need to create a permanent color that you don't have everything of, but you have in a Vivid or in the HydraGloss, you can color in that permanent one, and then you can use the tone in the HydraGloss or the Vivid on top of it. So you can tone to set the tone, right? You can tone with one Vivid to set the tone for another Vivid. If you've got a blonde that's too light and you need to take them back down, you can do the same thing. But I created a plum that's absolutely beautiful, absolutely fun. I love a good plum. I want a giant plum wall. So this is on a level 10 swatch. And what this is again, this is HydraGloss. So 1-to-1 mixing ratio I used. And so swatches 10 through 13 here, all these 4 are all going to be the exact same formula. The formula is 10 grams of clear, 10 grams of 10B, 1 gram of 1B, and 1 drop of 5R. And when I say drop, it's literally like you're squeezing that tube until a little drop is coming out. If you want an actual formula, you would double the 10B, the 10 clear, the 1B, and so you would double those, and then I would use 1 gram of 5R, and 1 gram is essentially like 2 quick, this is my measuring, 2 quick squeezes of the tube, and it's usually about 1 gram. But this is the plum that I created, and the bottom, ignore the bottom's dark, but let me put the level 10 up against it. I did put this on a level 10 so you could see how fun this plum is. It's got that beautiful purple, right? And I used a lot of B because I wanted that blue, that blue violet color, not a red violet color. Dark plums come in red, blue. They come in, you know, the blue, red. You can get multiple different types. Dark plums, black plums are more on this side. So what I did with this one, this is the level 10. I used our smoky violet on the bottom of it. And so you can see it's dark on the bottom. Let me try and get that glare off my screen, get it to settle. So you can see there's the plum hue here. And then there's the smoky violet down here to enhance it and make that tone come out, that plum tone come out just a little bit more. I feel like you can see it there. But yeah, you got that plum there and then the smoky violet there. Now, I don't necessarily know that I would put, me personally, this on a level 10 unless they're really like into fun colors like that. It would be fairly bright, but if you have somebody, maybe you're doing some color correcting on and you're still trying to pull pigment out of the hair and you're like, what are we going to put you in as we're still lightening the hair and getting it level to level to level? I put it on a level 8, and this doesn't have smoky violet on it. I literally did it to show our purples, whether they're Vivid or HydraGloss, they really do, and even our permanent line, they do so good when you have yellow underneath them. And this is a level 8 swatch with that plum on. And it just is so pretty. You can see that beautiful dusky plum color. Here's it with black in the background. But it's absolutely stunning. It's one of my new favorites. I saw the plum the other day on a hair forum and I was just like, ooh, I gotta make that. So that's it on a level 8. This is it on a level 7, so it's slightly deeper. And then of course it's got the smoky violet on the bottom. So it's got that beautiful plum hue. And it's also got that smoky violet on the bottom. Every time I get close, it makes it go too bright. Can you see that? I absolutely love it. I had a lot of fun creating that. And of course, it's super easy. You know, if you wanted less plum, you could, or less of the purpley, the red hue, you would just do less red. You would just keep cutting it in half. There's so little red in it though, that I don't know how you would keep cutting it in half. But you can, we're creative, we do it. Now this one is dark. I did this on a level 5. And the hue is there. Okay, so I colored the swatch up to there with the plum color, and then the smoky violet is down here. I'm hoping you can see it. I don't know if the black is detracting or allowing. You can see the violet tone, that plum tone in there. Now this is the true epitome, like the 5R and the 3R. This is the absolute definition of enhancement with tone. So inside in this light, you can see it, but it's like, is it really there? But if you were to take it outside in the natural sunlight where you have that gold reflection from the sun, this would light up plum so much. I love it. Look at that shine. I love our HydraGloss. It is so shiny. All right, so that's our violets, that's our plums. We've been kind of playing in that ashy overcorrection. We have two new colors that came out, and I chose to play with one of them for this class because, I mean, it's vivid. Why would we not? Drop all y'all's favorite vivid colors in the comments. I love to see whose favorite vivids, who's who of who with their favorites. So blue is my favorite color, first and foremost. And I love, love, love the blues. And we have a new one that's called All Nighter. And I was super glad because it's, oh yeah, magenta. Yes, love magenta. It is so good. And I love the bright magentas and I love the deeper magentas. They're so good. All right, sorry, this one had like a little something in it. So the All Nighter is a deep, deep dark blue. So the first swatch that I did is I designed to go on a level 7 like intended. Now this won't be quite exact because it's normally on a pre-lightened level 7. And we all know pre-lightened, once you put lightener on hair, you get that brighter effect, right? So that underlying level 7 is going to give you a little bit more, but this was a really beautiful, close second in my opinion. I hope y'all can you see how bright that blue is with how that blue tone, even though it has a ton of depth, like that tone of the blue, just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And I love playing with blue. I actually have a couple of guests that I have, when I've done their color correction, to take them from dark hair back to their salt and pepper, because they're like, I'm tired of having my hair colored. I actually lean into our blues a lot, because they're like, hey, let's go a little funky. If the hair is going to be growing out, there's going to be different things going on. So I actually do lean into the blues a lot, because the one thing I hear, I don't know about you guys, is I've always wanted blue hair. I've always wanted blue hair. So I love playing in the blues. And I'll show you in just a second why I just said all that. So the first swatch was the level 7, right? What it's supposed to be on, because all of our boxes give you what it's supposed to be, right? So on the box, there's the little bubbles on the bottom. Level 7. That has a little bubble around it. Cool. That right there tells you that you lift the hair to a level 7, and then you put the color on to get the desired tone and color that it's supposed to be per manufacturer's directions, right? So, well, Casey, I lifted it to a level 10. I thought I'd put it on there anyways. Oops, that went really bright. It's not dark blue. Well, when you take away tone, you're not going to get what you're supposed to have. So if it says a level 7, there I go dropping them again. If it says a level 7, what do we have at a level 7? We've got some yellow, we've got some orange. And if you're ever unsure, I hope that you can get your hands on our color book, because it'll tell you right here in the very beginning. You've got gold going on down there. Don't be afraid to go back when you are dealing with tone. Yes, orange, warm, all the things. All the things. So you want to make sure when you're trying to get here that you don't have this to contend with. Because although this is beautiful, we love blue. That's like the perfect cobalt blue. But that's not why she came in. She came in because she wanted this deep, dark, like, what is that? A jewel tone. It's like a dark jewel tone. It's absolutely stunning. And she wanted that, but she got this. So, okay, we lifted to a level 10. Oops. Before we already know that we lifted to a level 10. It's too light. Okay. Well, I don't necessarily always want to put orange on the hair. Maybe you don't have any copper at the right level that you can put in. You can't dilute it. You can't do the normal things that you would do, right? So this is where creative coloring really comes into play. And you remember this guy over here that we corrected earlier? This is, we accidentally overtoned this, right? With the wrong color. This right here is a blue violet, more of a midnight blue that I created, okay? And this is on level 10, okay? I used 10 grams of 10B. I used 1 gram of 1B. I used 1 gram of 7G, okay, for the top part. I'm just gonna try and close that. And you can see this blue that I created. It's an absolutely stunning blue. This is what I used way back here when I overshot my tone. I used too much blue. That's that. This part right here is this. Now, again, not bad, beautiful colors. Just overshot that ashy tone a little bit. But I've got that level 10, and I want this. I want this beautiful, rich, dark jewel tone blue, but I don't have a 7G to put on that hair. I don't have a 7C. I don't have anything to try and get in there, but I've got the B's all day long. So I created this to give you that blue base, and then I put the all-nighter on top of it. So you then have that blue, again, it's dark, it's not exact, but you're getting that tone, right? You're getting that deep jewel tone blue. So you're getting that cool blue tone that you were looking for. It's not as neutral, because on top of that gold, it's going to have a more neutral effect, but it's pretty close. So close. It's sorry, let me try and get that glare off. They're very close. So you can tone to set the tone to help yourself with your coloring. I don't know about you, but this one just makes me so happy all day long. I want this all over my head. It just makes me happy. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Did I miss something that came in the box? I can talk a little fast, and I'm trying really, really hard not to.
There is a question, if you can repeat what that base tone was again.
Of what? Which one?
Brenda, if you can say which base tone you were asking about, she can answer that for you.
The ash blue. So this one, yes or no? Yes. Okay. So the base tone, this is a level 7. So this was a level 5 swatch that I did, color correction, right? Our color correction scenario. So I didn't know how her hair was going to lift. So I thought, I'm going to put some 20 volume on there. We're going to see how it goes. I got her to a level 7 right here. So that 7 undertone is that dark yellow, light orange area where with pale yellow, we know violet is enough, right? 9 times out of 10, that pale yellow, even a medium yellow, the level 7 in our express tones, violet, will take care of that as long as it's still in that 7 range. But sometimes when you are removing old color, it's going to leave that tone of orange no matter what you do. So this is a level 7. So I toned it at that level with the blue to make sure that I overshot on purpose. I kind of went a little over that 7 and kind of into almost a 6. And because it was porous, because it was pre-lightened, that hair kind of sucked up some of the warm tone that was in there and only left the ash. So this was, what was this? This was the 10B, the 1B with the 7G. So it did lighten it a little bit, but it still deposited that ash too much. Even at that lighter level with the 10, that 1B has so much blue in it that even with just a little bit in the formula, it's going to give you all of that ash. So I put it on a level 7. 7 generally seems to be, for me personally, as a hairstylist behind the chair and a color correction expert, you're very, very welcome. I generally can get hair to a level 7, 8-ish level. And then you play the tricky role of, I want to cancel it. How much ash do I put in? The hair feels pretty good, but is it going to suck up that tone? But you don't want to overshoot. You don't want to undershoot. I mean, I guess it's better to undershoot because you can always tone on tone to go ahead and try and fix things. Perfect. Okay. So we've talked about canceling out tones, right? That's this area right here. We talked about canceling out tones. And then we've talked about enhancing tones. This also is enhancing tones. This is more of the Platinum Express Tones. I only did a few of them. Again, I could have done swatches for days, you guys. This is like such a playland for me. So I did the Platinum Lilac, I did the Platinum Gold, I did the Platinum Smoke, and this is the Platinum Sand. I did swatches of those. I dropped this one down because originally I didn't do it, and then I added it in last minute. So my lovely Sam doesn't have this on her notes. But all of this I did in a traditional way, because when we're blonding our guests, we're shampooing all of the lightener out at the shampoo bowl. We may be using purple shampoo, but I did not this time because I knew I was going to go ahead and put tone on top of the remaining yellow tone in the hair. So I did not use purple shampoo because I didn't want to get rid of unwanted tones. I wanted to use the leftover yellow to show what they are, just in case you guys don't use these. I wanted to give you an opportunity to see them for what they are. There are 3 more colors and they are absolutely gorgeous. Or excuse me, 2 more colors. So the Platinum Lilac, which you saw up there, now there is a difference. I'm going to show you. So there's a difference when you put color on wet hair versus dry hair. And we all know wet hair, when hair is filled with water, right? It's fighting space for color, right? So there could be possible dilution, but it's minimal, right? So, but here's the Platinum Lilac on dry hair for 5 minutes. And then this is the Platinum Lilac on wet hair. It's dry now, but it was put on wet hair for 5 minutes. So you can still see the lilac tone. You see how much more pale it is than on the dry hair. The dry hair, it's not fighting for space. You can see there's more tone here and there's less tone here. So the time didn't have anything to do with it. It's the amount that can get in with the water. So dry hair versus wet hair can also change the tone that you're trying to achieve with the hair. If you're wanting a deeper one, dry hair is going to give the ability for all the color to go in with no fight, as long as there are no elementals, hairspray, dry shampoo, our own dander and oils. You want to make sure that you have a clean, dry canvas for maximum tonal value. If you're really going for it. But if you're like me and 99% of other hairstylists, we're doing it wet at the bowl because it's fast, it's a time saver and moneymaker, right? So this is our Platinum Lilac. Dry hair, wet hair, just to show you the difference in tone with how you can apply these. All right, this is the gold. I don't know if like your guys' world and you felt like it was Christmas, your birthday anniversary, but when we came out with the gold, my world lit up. This is all on level 10. So all the platinums, of course, are going to be on level 10. I didn't even do them on level 9 because I wanted to show you the maximum tone. These are absolutely incredible. Sorry, let me pull back. Get so excited. I just want to shove it in your face and show you everything. It's the gold, absolutely amazing. It's a game changer for me personally behind the chair. And I hope for you too, if you're using it, because the blondes sometimes want to shift and they want their gold shifted. Or guess what? They were a little warmer than usual and their blonde lifted a little too high. You can put that back in and it's so natural. It's absolutely incredible. The Platinum Smoke. I love this. You've got that beautiful silvery tone at a level 910. And this one, my friends, when you let it sit for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you just get even more. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Let me put this and see. Like you can see that silvery tone. It's just incredible. I love this one so much. I will use this to tone before HydraGloss, I use this one a lot because it goes in 5 minutes. It helps to just go into the hair, lay a tone. And when we're talking about platinum levels, when you're doing light on top of light, because color on color makes color darker, right? This is a general rule of thumb. You can do the same thing with tone, right? So we'll get back to this one in a second. That next one's down here a little bit. This is platinum sand in the Express Tones. And Express Tones and Platinum toners, they're all demis, no alcohol, right? Or excuse me, no ammonia. So they're mixed 1 part color to 1.5 parts zero developer. Always use zero. There's no need to use more than zero, because if you do, you're adding more hydrogen peroxide, you're going to get lift and your tone will be wrong. I can guarantee you that. This is platinum sand. This is my second absolute favorite. This is the mildest of shifts. If you have the blonde who wants so to be very different, but he or she is terrified of change, I love the platinum sand for this because it's there, it's gentle, and this is 5 minutes. You can get more out of it. You can get much more out of it, but it's so subtle. It is the palest beige I've ever seen, and it's absolutely incredible. So with beige, we have that warm tone and that cool tone all packaged up in a nice, neat bundle. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It literally sits in the middle and you're like, ooh, that looks warm. No, wait, it looks cold. It's literally right in the middle. I love it. Now, some people have said, I even have guessed, they're like, the Express Tones just doesn't last as long as I'd like it to. Okay, great, fine. If you have an extra 20 minutes, I can go ahead and mix that tone up for you, because they're not looking for a whole lot, but I made it in HydraGloss. So this is keeping it bright, but lessening the gold. So keeping it nice and warm, because warm is bright, right? Warm is that bright tone that makes everything reflective. We love it. So this is on a level 10 swatch. This is 10B, 10S, and 9G in equal parts. 1-to-1 mixing ratio in HydraGloss. So those cool and warm tones help to create very similar to the platinum sand that we have in the Platinum Express Tones. So I'll show you them next to each other so you can see them. And this is something that's really easy to do. You can, if you want a little more longevity, because they could be blow drying and flat ironing and doing things. And we know that on these lighter tones, those light tones can lift with rapid shampooing, frequent shampooing, super hot water, flat irons for days, curling irons for days. We love to do our hair, right? So you can see that these are very similar. This is slightly deeper tone, which you can get this if you leave it on for more than 5 minutes. But if you want a dual purpose, you can put this on for 5 minutes, shampoo, and then put this on top for 20. And then you will potentially have, with that tone on tone, more longevity for your guests, so that they can ninja foo that hair with the flat iron and, you know, curly sue it up all day long. Take those hot showers. We love those hot showers, right? And then their tone is going to be perfectly safe in their hair. So I'm all about how can I spend your money and you're going to love every minute of it, from the time you walk out until you come back in and we refresh that tone, right? Okay, so back up here, we're going to go back here again, because I think she's just the girl for the party today. So, right, color correction. We overdid it here. We did too much. So we've got potentially another color correction scenario, depending upon where she wants to go. If she wants to sit at a level 7, doesn't want to be too warm, doesn't want to be too cool, we are going to have to lift that out, right? Okay, well, I didn't. What I did was I made the formula that I would put on a level 7. So she's a bit mushroomy, which means she's a beige, right? She's not too warm, she's not too cool. You can see underlying warmth, but you still can see that ash pulling through here. This is HydraGloss, and my favorite HydraGloss is 7 ABV. Let me tell you, it is phenomenal. You can use HydraGloss to 50%, up to 50%, right? Tone gray coverage kind of situation. It doesn't do gray coverage, but you can shift the tone of the gray with HydraGloss. And if it's a lighter gray, it's absolutely incredible. So you can do gray blending to make sure that the tones in the hair, when they're growing out highlights or their gray is coming in and they don't necessarily love it, our 7 ABV has been my personal one to shift the tone of the hair so that the people love what they're looking at. So with this, I use 7 ABV and 10S, and I created this mushroom brown color that's still warm, but it's ash. But wait, it looks kind of warm, but wait, it's kind of ashy. Equal parts, 10S and 7 ABV, and I put it on that level 7, that lovely, lovely level 7. And we've got our neutralization of the orange. Thanks for catching that, bud. So we overshot. I overshot, not we. You didn't do it, I did it. I overshot, and then I came up with the correct formula. Try and get that glare off of there. Any questions about this? And these are two the same swatches. They're both the level 5. I lifted them at the same time with the same lightener, and then I overshot, and then I aimed for the correct. So it's like, when would you use this, right? Color corrections. If you did low lights and they lifted a little-ish and they're wanting to go back from being light, that's when you would use these particular tones. Or if you just like them. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do, just give suggestions, you know? Now this is one of my favorites. So when we're doing reversals, I do a lot of color corrections, so I reference those a lot. And I do a lot of reversals. I am not Jack Martin. He is on a whole nother level. But I try and do my Pravana version. And we have an awesome arsenal. And this again is the 10 ABV and the 10S, which is what I used here, right, to control this warmth. I will also use this particular color, like I said, for gray blending when I want that tone to not be yellow on gray hair. Gray hair, white hair, they can turn a yellowish, and you can make this lighter. I didn't, again, I could make a million swatches. You can make this lighter. You can use clear. You could use more 10S and less 7 ABV. But this silver that the 7 ABV and the 10S creates, to me personally, has been the perfect silver to use out of all of our demi land that we have. You know, 10S, 7 ABV, equal parts of that to equal parts of our 0 volume developer. You put it on for 20 minutes and you get this incredible color. If I don't feel like shooting for blue, because my guest may not be a blue tone girl, because that tone may shift too much into a color issue, and I want to make sure it stays a tone situation, that's where I'm doing this. I'm controlling it this way and keeping it in that silver and making sure, because there's blue 7 ABV, that's our ash beige violet, right? So the B, that beige is going to have both warm and cool tones. So it's going to be some blue in it. And then the 10, that 10S is just incredible. Any questions about this? Okay, I only have a couple minutes left, so I'm going to roll through these last two and show you because to me, color and tone do go together. So this is a, whoops, I made it too bright situation. Okay. And I did it on a level 10. A lot of us, when we're like, okay, we've got to tint back, the tone has to be copper, right? We got to put that copper, got to put that red back into the hair. But that's a little too much, right? Depending upon what we were doing. So this needs to be toned down. So for the too much, which is an absolutely gorgeous copper, which is also this copper is a trending color right now. I use 6 grams of 7CR, 6 grams of 6BV, 3 grams of 7C, 4 grams of 7G, and 1 gram of 3R, grams of developer. This is HydraGloss. So both of these, this is a level 10 and a level 7 swatch that I put that formula on, and you can see the copper and the red. So it was too bright here, but it gave a beautiful red tone here. It's interesting to see what the same color can do on 2 different levels. So what I did, because whoops, I shot too coppery, too orange, maybe too much. Maybe she asked for this. Maybe she brought you, he brought you, they brought you this color. And they're like, oh, I don't like that. It's too bright. I need to tone it down. Tone doesn't have to be complicated. We made essentially a 6. So I took 6NT and I put it right on top to correct that tone. And what you come up with is another beautiful, neutral, but natural looking level 6. But I did all my fun, all my chemistry, mixed those colors. It was too much. I had too much fun and she didn't like it. So I used our 6NT and I used the tone, that neutral tone, to bring back down that orange copper. It's still warm, but it's not killing it. And I did the same thing here. This also has the 6NT on top of it, and it deepened it right back up, and it took that warm tone out of it, and it made it more of a neutral. So that was just a little fun, because if you haven't figured it out by now, I like to do color corrections and I like to fix tone. I love to give people what they ask for. So I just want to say thank you so much for toning in. Thanks for toning in today. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Casey Bushman. I'm an artistic educator with Pravana. You can follow me on the Hair Fairy, or on Instagram. I am the Hair Fairy. It's FAERY. I'm going to try and take pictures of these and get them as true to tone as possible in the pictures. And I'm going to post them on my Instagram stories. And so hopefully you guys will be able to use this information and have all of this in your arsenal. If you are a swatcher, I do want to throw this in here. I love the swatches that I use. It's this company. It's Rinbool, RINBOOOL. Get them on Amazon. I love to swatch to figure out how to do what we do behind the chair. So go get those. You can follow us on pravana.com for education. We have our Pravana Pro page on Facebook. We've got our Pravana Instagram page. We are everywhere. We have our 1-888 number. You can reach out to us for any of your questions at any time, and feel free to DM me. I would love to help you with any questions you have about color, toning, formulating, or just come say hi. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.